This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Oh my god. Can we talk
No,
about
I
how
do this shit right
fucking
here.
funny that video was, that makeup tutorial?
Oh,
I was crying.
It was
laughing.
amazing.
That chick was so funny.
Spot on.
Oh
my
my
and you know what?
God.
When
Perfection.
I saw her,
What's Marriott?
when I saw her, I was like, that looks like a girl from the 90s.
100%.
The fucking
The clips. She's like, take your goodie clips.
Just take 3 of them. Just don't care what the back looks like. Pins.
Oh my God, it was fucking perfect.
So
low-key-
funny.
I
The
went
fucking
shopping.
matte mousse
Oh yes,
foundation.
Yes.
She's like, take the chunkiest and then make that
Make
line.
sure there's a line of demarcation between your chin and your neck. I was at Target today, and I'm
Dude.
going to tell you, the 90s are back in a big way, and I am into it, but also I had to have like a come to Jesus moment with myself when I was at Target, because I was like buying stuff. You know, I got a few things, and they had like a accessories area where there is a caboodle, by the way. If you guys want to go,
I've seen
they
those.
sell them at Target.
I almost want one again.
They had the big clips, like the big like pastel colored clips, like the V clips.
Oh,
Do you
And
think-
I was like, I
Here's-
want those, but I'm like, I'm 29. I
Here's
can't
what
wear
I
those.
think. I think millennials who are like, are just now starting to have kids and everything like that. And I feel like maybe they're starting to buy this stuff for their kids.
Well, that's always how it is. It's
or
like
are they buying it
when-
for themselves?
Or
Yeah.
themselves
Or
too. You know
are
what I
you-
mean?
Well, it's because they're the ones making the decisions now. Like when
Right.
I was in middle school and like early high school, the 80s were back in a
yeah.
big, big way. And it's because my parents' generation were making all the decisions.
100%.
They were like,
Yeah.
it's all about the 80s. And now it's all about the 90s because we're nostalgic. My
Yeah.
generation is nostalgic.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're going to force pastels on you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And neon.
And I'm okay with it.
And
I'm
your
very
eyeshadow
into
will
it.
go all the way up to your eyebrows.
I'm okay if that one doesn't come back.
When she did that and I was like that blue, I was like, oh my God, I had a math teacher in like junior high.
She's,
that
like, so sticky.
swear to God.
And they don't even believe, like, that was a whole time period when no one believed in like mattes. Like, you just use all
shiny-
shimmer
all
shadows.
shimmers.
All shimmer.
All
shimmer
shimmer.
in the crease.
She's like, eyebrows don't matter. I was like,
just do one line.
And then she did the brown liner
Yeah.
with the freaking lip gloss.
I
Oh
low
my
key
God.
still like dark lip liner. I'm still okay with the dark lip liner.
I low key was like, you know what? It's really not that
It's
bad.
kind of a look.
It's kind of a look.
Oh, it's a look. It's a look.
I low key was okay
Oh
with her
my
hair.
God.
I was like, you know what? Actually, it's fun.
You're like Britney Spears from circa 1999.
It's
called.
kind of fun, kind of loving it.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
speaking of someone who's now spends a solid.
Oh,
like,
I know.
How long do I spend on my eyebrows now? Like,
Oh, I know.
so long to
Well, at
like
least you
make them
have
look
eyebrows.
natural and like bushy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
back then they were just like just one harsh line.
Yeah.
One harsh Gwen Stefani
Or
line.
you didn't fill it in at all.
Yeah.
You were just
Yeah.
like as nude as they possibly could be.
Mm-hmm.
What were we thinking?
God, the weird times. I don't know.
Ugh.
No.
Yeah. I read an article like probably in like, I don't know, high school. And it was like the thicker your brows look, the younger you look. And so I don't know why, like before even 20, I'm like, I got to look young.
Gotta have
Better
them
bush
thick
up them brows.
No, I heard that too.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
heard-
read it in an article and I'm like, bushy brows it is from now on.
And that's why you also fill
It's a downhill
in.
slope from 20.
Like I have a really distinct like Cupid's bow in my top lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always tell you to try and like make that look as like you don't want to exaggerate that because when you're younger, you don't have as exaggerated of a Cupid's bow. So that's
really?
when they tell
Never
you to
heard
go
that.
like straight across the top to make your
That's a
lips look like
Kylie thing for
fuller
sure.
and you look younger, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've had lips like this forever. I don't know, man. It's just the shape of my lips.
I feel like I have too, and I'm always like about accentuating it.
Well, I do now because I'm just like, fuck it. It's my lip shape. I'm not trying to like.
Yeah.
It looks weird when I try.
I want to learn
erase
how
it.
to do the Kylie like overline.
Yeah.
I already have big lips. I just want to like make
Get
it
it.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to
You're like,
pull
I just
that
want
off.
to draw it like all like a mustache.
I've tried to overline. I can do it a little bit, but that much it doesn't look good. And
I kind of feel like that's a look that only looks good in a picture. That like in real life, you're like, what are you doing with your face?
I think so. I think you're right about that. I also think, as with all of these beauty influencers, because I actually watch like beauty YouTubers and stuff like that.
Oh, I do
and
too.
all
It's
of these
fucking fascinating.
people,
It is.
like with like ultra matte lipstick that you're like, oh my god, it looks so beautiful. It's like they have crazy fillers though. Like that's why it looks
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. It's because their lips are lineless. They don't have like Kylie doesn't have any lines in her lips. That's
Right.
why it looks good. Whereas like for me, once it dries, if it's too matte, once it dries down, it's like crackly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like in all my creases.
It's cricky crack.
Yeah,
I
all
know.
that.
It's
Mine's
awful.
the same where it's like, girl, do you need some water?
Right. Do you want to put some
you
chapstick?
thirsty?
Through this desert to put my lipstick on.
Oh
Yeah,
my
God
God.
forbid
That's
it's
me.
a matte nude, and then it's just
Yeah,
like you just have
it's
butthole lips, like
For sure. I'm guilty of this.
crispy.
Yeah.
Oh, Krispy Kreme.
Crispy lips.
Dude, where was I that I was like so fucking dry? And I wore, and it was a nude, and I'm like, well, my lips look like they're falling off my face, actually.
Yeah,
they're actually
I know.
cracked to
Yeah,
death. And they're literally like peeling. And of course, you get that one peel where you got, I can't not peel it.
Yeah,
and
then
then
Oh,
you rip off your whole entire
My
lip.
Yeah, I do
God,
that all
it's
the
like
time.
I
fucking
am
bleeding.
so
Yep.
I'm
Oh.
like in
Bad
love
about
with
that.
you ladies right now because that's my secret like obsession.
Yeah, I
I'm
do
a
that
lip
constantly.
picker.
Me too.
Oh, the
I am
worst.
a dirty lip picker.
And it's the worst, and we shouldn't do it.
You dirty
We
lip picker.
really shouldn't do it.
We shouldn't
It's the
do
worst.
it. But when they're like cracky, instead of like leaving it alone, I just sit and I'm like, I'll just start to pick
Do
at
you
it.
feel like
I
a
can't
tiny
not.
bit of like satisfaction when you get like a sizable?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's
Yes.
the one when you
Off.
rip your lip and it's like a full blood patch.
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And then you touch your tongue to it and it fucking burns
I
like
mean,
Satan.
I am gonna say like I have very dry lips like in general. Like I have lip masks at home. Like
Yeah.
that shit actually really does work and it helps. But like and I don't care because I've been with Anthony for so long. I'm like it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
fine. But in this play that I'm getting ready to do, I have to like kiss a guy and I'm
so
like
now you're like super conscious.
I'm like oh man I can't have like Sahara lips.
Sarah Lynn.
If I go to like kiss somebody,
You know what though? Like I've heard chapstick's a farce, right? Like the whole idea is that
It
like
dries your
chapstick
lips
dries
out
your lips
more.
out more.
Yeah.
I'm so.
I'm
I've
like,
heard like
I've-
Aquaphor, like
I've
the same shit you
also
would put on a
just-
tattoo. Like is the best thing to do. It's just like
Yeah.
doesn't stop like air from getting in, so it heals. Or like Neosporin. Like that's the way. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I think.
interesting. I would try Neosporin.
Yeah.
I've also heard that like drinking water like helps.
Oh, that?
But I'm like
novel.
I
ridiculous.
So novel.
cannot
What am I?
even remember the last time I had a drink of actual
Girl,
water.
drink water. Drink water. I'm such an
know.
advocate
Listen,
for
Mom,
drinking
don't-
water.
don't
Do
boss
you not
me.
drink water either?
Okay, I do on
Okay,
occasion. It's
okay.
not a good. Not a good
it
amount.
is-
I'm not gonna lie.
I would be hard pressed to tell you when the last
Christina.
time I had water
Christina
was.
Renee.
So what I will say. Ooh.
Yep. I pulled out the middle name. I am a big advocate for drinking water. Anthony can tell you.
What I'll say is that this week I was good. When I get Airbnbs, I do like the wise choice, which is go to the grocery store and get groceries. And what I do
Smart.
is I get like a 6-pack of like the big bottles of water. So I've actually been doing a little bit better at it. And now that I have to take drugs in the morning, I'm actually being a little bit better about
I will
it.
say buying like we get sparklets delivered, having that like cool fresh water
Access all the time.
like accessible all the time, it really does help. But I upped my water. I always try and drink water, but like I upped my water game for vanity's sake. Like we talk about dry lips.
Oh, I know.
Because I kept noticing my line in my forehead is so much more persistent. My like wrinkle that I have in my forehead that I'm devastated about. It's so much more persistent and like apparent if I'm not drinking water.
Oh,
If you guzzle
I'm the
water,
worst.
your like skin gets better.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate.
Oh, I'm gonna try Cramo from Queer Eye. really fucking inspired me this week. I love his Instagram posts.
Ooh.
But he does these as like, hey friends, and
I need
he
to
was
follow
talking.
him.
Oh my god, it's the best.
Oh, I love him.
And he was talking about success, and he was like, success is just trying to be 1% better today than you were yesterday. And that really stuck with me this week, where I was just like, oh, well, today I did this. That was 1% better than yesterday.
And it makes you focus.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. And it just it doesn't, it makes you focus, on your successes, little successes, but instead of being like, oh fuck, I didn't do this, or I'm still not there yet, it's like, oh no, today I did 1% better than yesterday.
And it doesn't feel like an unachievable goal.
No, not at all.
Just like, oh man, I will tell you, those are the days when I feel better. It's like when I wake up and I make my bed, and I'm like, just one difference in my day,
and
the
you
rest
are
of my day can
1%
go
better
the same way. But like, I made my bed. You
Yeah.
know?
It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
So speaking about makeup real quick, because I know you listen to Daily Zeitgeist and so do I.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were talking a little bit about some of our shame receipts, which is not drinking water and also like
lip picking.
Mm-hmm. Somebody brought it up and I don't remember which guest they had on, but she was like, underrated shaving your face.
Oh yeah.
I was like, it's so funny. Okay, so I went to this esthetician. It was a friend of a friend kind of situation. She was fine. She was totally great, just not in a great location for me to go to all the time. And super sweet. But she told me, she goes, I shave like once a week my face. She goes, it keeps my skin super soft and it absorbs my lotion better. And she's like, and my makeup goes on super fucking smooth. And I was like, oh my god. And I'm like, is that fucking weird? And so I did it the other day and I'm like, I might do this, more often.
maybe
Is
I
that
need-
for
I need-
reals?
Like, did
it
you
is. Well,
use
the
a
girl was talking
regular-
about it and I was like,
razor?
yeah, like
Because
just like
I
a regular.
used a facial razor one time.
Yeah.
And not like the little ones. I
don't like the
use
little ones.
I use the little ones if I need a quick like on my eyebrows or on my mustache. I do a little quick if I like the little ones. But I had like a thing that was an epilating tool for your face. And it worked. Like my face felt very smooth, but I feel like it also aggravated it. Maybe I was like being too aggressive.
Yeah.
Going in too
I mean, I just
hard.
did like a light bit and I only did it just like in my one area, just like one area to test it. Cause I have like just on my chin, just a like a test market area. Like, I don't have like a super hairy face.
Yeah.
And my hair grows in blonde AF. I literally, the places I shave are my armpits and like just knee to ankle. That's it. Like I am not a hairy person. Like, so I'm not like, but I am starting to notice. And now I'm just like being like super that person who's like, oh, I got a new wrinkle because I'm getting old. And I'm like just super like, which I shouldn't do. Don't get that close to yourself in the mirror. Like,
I do
stop
every
it.
day, and
Stop
it's a
it.
mistake
I know,
every
it's a
single
mistake.
time. No one is looking at you that close.
So
no
now
one
I'm
is.
like, where are these baby little hairs coming from? Am I growing a mustache?
I
And
was
I'm like,
thinking of if I was growing a mustache the other day too.
so
I was looking at it. But I was like so close to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I was like, magnified and so close. And I was like,
You guys,
this is ridiculous.
Both like with your like. I have to get really close to the mirror to be able to see anything on my
it's blonde.
face. Like I can see, like I get like little hairs on the side, like right above my lip on both sides, and I can like see them.
I've waxed before only because I noticed it and I was like, I'm gonna wax because I can wax myself. I have a waxing machine. It's not a big deal. I fucking broke out. I break out, and that's why I don't wax my eyebrows anymore because I break out so horribly with any type of waxing on my skin, on my face.
That makes
I can wax anywhere else, but on my face for some reason it's just so
Sensitive.
fucking sensitive that I break out. And so I was like, maybe this is the answer.
Have you tried threading your eyebrows? By the way,
I don't have a death wish. No,
that is
I have.
I heard it's
torture.
so painful.
I liked it. I like a little pain.
I cried. And I mean, I have done some crazy physical things to myself.
I'd
but
rather tweeze one hair at a time.
This woman, with all her strength, with a like piece of string, brought me to tears.
I think you went to a very aggressive
It was
eyebrow threader because I
the
have
worst.
a girl who I went to school with who does it, and she like we were just hanging out one day and she did it like in my friend's apartment, and it was great. Like it felt like cool. It didn't like hurt. It felt better to me. Like, I hate plucking my eyebrows. Like, I hate it. That shit makes my eyes water. Like, it doesn't make me cry.
Oh, see,
but
I
it
can
makes my
handle
eyes water.
plucking.
I hate it. I would rather wax. I would rather wax it.
Well,
I
yeah,
would
wax
rather.
it.
Yeah.
But I cannot.
Yeah.
Alas, because again, I'll have like fucking. I literally, it's like a breakout, like a red rash
geez.
breakout for like a good like day and a half, 2 days, and I'm like, this. I look horrible. So, and I'm like, well, that's real. You know what's better than having a blonde mustache that no one sees? A fucking broken out like fucking mustache that everyone sees.
I saw a thing in. This is not funny, and I should not laugh. I saw a thing in a beauty group I was in. All of our male listeners are like, get to it. But I saw a thing in a
Craig.
beauty group I was in where this woman went in to get her eyebrows microbladed in Kansas City because she had a thing where like she really didn't have eyebrows. And so her daughters, thinking they were being like good daughters, and they're probably poor like 20 somethings, got her a Groupon to go get her eyebrows microbladed.
Oh, bless her heart.
It was
Never Groupon
bad.
that.
It was bad. It was like she looked like one of those did you guys ever have those teddy bears that you could like draw on? That's kind of what her eyebrows looked like. Like, they weren't at all symmetrical. They weren't in the same place. It was terrible. And I felt so bad for her because she was like, you know, she's like, I couldn't cover it up with makeup. It didn't work.
No.
She's like, I couldn't, like, I basically would go straight to work, maybe to the grocery store if I needed something, and then I spent the rest of the time at home. Because apparently in Missouri, you just have to take like one course and you can be a microblader. And so now she's having to pay like $1,000 or more to have it removed. I was like, that's so awful.
I need people to come up for her.
Yeah.
Can we GoFundMe?
That's a GoFundMe for sure, because that makes me think of my mom who like never does like anything nice to her for herself.
And her daughters
and
were
it's like her
do
daughter's
this
like,
thing.
do this thing to like treat yourself,
God, I would feel
mom.
terrible.
Treat yourself. And then
her
have
shitty
it.
boyfriend dumped her too. Yeah.
Oh.
She's like, I had a boyfriend. He stopped seeing me. I was like, what a piece of shit.
So that's a fucking good point for all those fucking people on Tinder that make comments like, don't fucking care so much about your makeup or your blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, as soon as your makeup's all fucked up, then you're going to be peace out.
Do you care if one of my eyebrows is 3 inches above the other one? Do you care
I guess
now?
you do.
Yeah, I
you
think
care
you do
now,
care.
motherfucker.
But you look like you're always questioning me, so I didn't know if it was an eyebrow or if you were
You
like,
look like The Rock, so I was worried.
I thought you were mad because you always have an eyebrow raised at me.
Oh, no.
Guys want that natural look, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
But you know what? Guys don't know what that is,
They
though.
don't
like,
know
that's
what
They don't
that
realize
is.
an hour's worth of makeup is a natural
Yes.
look.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what we call a natural beat. That woman
Yeah.
spent time to make herself look natural. I
Yeah.
guarantee you she doesn't look like that in real life.
Yeah.
No.
I promise you. So have you guys heard about Gypsy Rose being engaged?
yes.
Oh,
yes.
what?
I saw that
I
today.
did not.
So
I saw
Gypsy
that
Rose
today.
Blanchard is engaged, which I hope our listeners, I think we have a lot of true crime crossover listeners, so they would know who that is. They're from my hometown.
That's right, Springfield.
Yeah, represent.
You're like awkward represent.
But yeah, so she's serving a 10-year sentence for helping to kill her mother, who tortured her and abused her entire
Love to
life.
see her Tinder bio.
Oof.
Well, but you know, I really hope she's happy. She's working on getting her GED. Things seem to be going well for her in prison. She's like the godmother of someone's kid. She's made a lot of friends.
Here's my question. You have a Charlize Theron out there who's like can't get a guy to ask her on a date, but you have a girl who's in prison.
Well, let's see what this guy looks
That's
like.
true.
This guy
Yeah.
is not
True.
probably
It's true.
someone Charlize Theron wants to date.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, I mean, I just think that there's something intimidating about a strong, independent, beautiful woman. Do you think?
Bless her heart.
I'm just,
No, I absolutely do. And I also think she probably has high standards. She's
Yeah.
got very high standards probably for herself, which is good. She should hold on to those.
Right.
well, if anybody needs to get some high standards, it's
Gypsy?
Yeah, Gypsy Rose.
Well, and
considering
here's my concern
what she's been through her whole life.
about Gypsy Rose. My concern is like everyone's like, yeah, she's really happy, but she met this guy via prison pen pal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he started writing to her because he saw the documentary. And I'm
We're
like,
going to put a
that
pin in this
concerns
because
me.
this actually
Ties
comes up
in?
to my crazy in
Oh,
love.
No
shit. Okay.
way.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll put a pin
That's
in this. But yes.
What's so crazy is it does this kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my
we'll
god.
put a pin in it.
Okay.
I'll
Wow.
just say the
Oh my
ring.
god. I
she-
hope you did that story because it's so fucking good. But that
no,
would be
no, no,
wild.
no. I did not do Gypsy Rose,
which is
This
a
isn't
crazy
it.
in love.
That is
It
a
is.
crazy in love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like love between a
Okay.
mother and a daughter, but
Uh-oh.
yeah, but
Well, I mean, and the guy.
And the
guy
guy.
Yeah.
killed for
Yeah.
her. Yeah. You know.
Oof. So can I go back to makeup for 1 second?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No,
This is now,
you don't have to apologize to us.
Yeah, we
like,
love
you
makeup.
keep trying to make this a food podcast. I'm trying to make this a beauty crossover
It can
podcast.
be all those things. Listen.
it's all of the things.
Did you guys ever see there was a like a video going around about with this girl who did like the freckles with it was like a semi-permanent tattoo. It was like kind of like a henna tattoo.
Sure. I didn't see that, but I believe it.
She did it and left it on. When she took it off, it was like she looked like she had the fucking measles. It was
No,
red splotches
honey.
all over her face. She couldn't even like cover it up. So you talking about the eyebrows earlier made me think about that. Oh my god, I gotta
Girl,
find that
go
video.
get you some
No.
Dermablend. Get you some like tattoo
She
cover
full
up.
on looked like she had the measles.
Oh no.
I gotta find that. I'll find that
The
video during
amount
the
of
break.
makeup you'd have to put on your face, but
Ooh.
fucking do it. Get you some heavy duty concealer. Yeah, no.
It was
no.
also though hilarious. It was so.
I mean, those fails. I do enjoy watching those.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
know it's terrible, but like it's like
That's
watching.
like the girl version of like, because there's all those Instagram videos of like people like falling off of skateboards and like getting hurt, and that's what like, you know what I mean?
It
And I'm
is.
like, oh, I can't watch that, but then I'll watch someone like
burn
fuck
their
their
hair
face
off.
off. You know?
I will watch some.
Sorry.
I will watch somebody try and cut their own bangs.
That's
every
our
fucking
that's
day.
our fail
Oh,
army
that is
for
the
sure.
best. Have you watched like a compilation video of somebody like trying to cut their own bangs, or have you seen the video of the woman who like was curling her hair?
Yes.
and like it just fell off.
Yes. Yes.
Shut
You never saw
up.
that?
No.
She went on like Ellen and everything. She was like, you just like hold it there for like 60. And it was like, we're the worst. What is wrong with us?
It's terrible, but also
hold it here for
Also, I just thought this was like something like that hairdressers loved watching.
oh hell no! I love this shit.
this is our like fail army. This is the
Oh,
shit
it
that we
is.
watch.
When somebody's like, I'm going to go from black hair to silver tonight. And you're like, oh, I'm
I
settling
can't
in.
wait to watch
like,
this. I'm gonna buckle
popcorn?
up. Yeah. Oh, totally. So much popcorn.
Oh, it's
Oh my
great.
God.
I love it.
I'm buckled up.
Well, we should probably introduce ourselves.
that little thing.
It's a good idea.
This is My Worst Date podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
I never fucking go first.
You don't.
I just
I
realized
was
how
very
weird that
thrown
was.
off. I was like, I don't know what
know.
to do. Am I going second?
I'm literally gonna look up this freckle video.
Please
during
do.
break.
It's
Oh, I can't
amazing.
wait to show
I'm
you.
happy. I would love to see it.
So
Well,
we have fuck, marry, kill this week.
Yes, and since we're on the topic of girls, we got a request from a patron. She has a lady FMK for us this week that I am so
love it.
down for, that has the true crime element. She wants us to fuck, marry, kill Detective Olivia Benson from Law and Order.
Okay.
Our
Yep.
the OG Mariska Hargitay. Detective Callie Duquesne from CSI Miami, played by Emily Proctor.
Okay.
That's the blonde
The
one.
blonde one, yeah.
Yeah, and then Detective Emily Prentiss from Criminal Minds, played by Paget Brewster.
I got mine.
I
already.
guarantee I'm going to put money on the table that all three of us are the same.
I bet we.
I
okay.
bet you we are.
I bet we are too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's do it. Let's do it all at once and see. We're going to marry
Olivia
Benson.
Benson. Done.
We're going to fuck
Paget
Brewster.
Yep.
And we're
I'm
going
going
to
to
kill
kill-
Callie Duquesne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the right answer,
Agent
correct?
Prentiss for fucking.
Oh,
You guys
yeah,
said Paget,
she's-
and it threw me off because I was going to go with
Agent
Prentiss, and I was
Prentiss,
like, but
same person.
I was like-
I looked at her to see what she was gonna do.
I know. I was like,
Sorry.
I'm trapped in the. I'm about
Sorry.
to say Princess, but then you guys went that direction. Okay,
Yes.
but yes,
Yes.
we are all on the same page.
All on the same
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
Dude, there's something about Paget Brewster in that
I will
role
let
where
her
I'm
take
just
me
like,
for a ride.
I'm like,
Fucking A.
Yes.
she's got like a darkness.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
what's up
and
with
she's
that?
supposed
But you
to be
know what?
like a CIA member, like ex-CIA. She speaks a bunch of languages and is
You know who I really love on that show?
Who?
Is the other girl, the one
blonde
computer girl.
Oh, Garcia.
Yeah. Garcia, thank you. I was like, why am I flaking on her name?
She is the best.
I wanted her to
So
get
great.
with I wanted her to get with Shamar Moore like so fucking
So
bad on that
much.
show.
Because it needs to fucking happen.
And the chemistry was so good.
The chemistry was so good, and it would have been so cool to see a
It needed to
relationship like that.
Yeah, with like a really hot, hunky
Yes.
dude. Yeah.
And a girl who looks like all of us.
Yes.
Like,
Well, I mean,
could
it
be
is
your
like,
friend.
and it's like a self-professed nerd and like, you know,
Right.
techie
Yeah.
girl.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
love to see that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here for it. I was
Whenever
yeah.
Criminal Minds is on, like in the background, I'm gonna
fucking
watch
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
watch
just
it.
peeled a huge piece of my lip off.
Oh my god!
I didn't mean
Speaking
to.
of, oh, that's a good one.
That's a
That's
good
a
one.
good
Please
one.
don't tell me you're not going to not chew on that.
Thank you. Oh my god, we are the same.
Okay, I don't do that though. I don't
Cassie,
do that.
I'll eat him too.
Oh my
I do.
God,
I do. I eat my lip pieces.
This is Keegan, and I'm the one on this podcast who
Can we
does
please
not
delete-
eat her lip pieces.
I'm gonna pee my pants. That's some real deal Holyfield. I'm dying right now.
Is there
Oh my
anything
God.
better than that? Than eating the skin around your nails?
I
No.
looked appalled.
I just
all
for
the
sure.
time.
Yeah.
I think it's anxiety eating.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm totally right there with you.
Like you've never eaten the
I'm
skin around your
horrified.
nails. Shut up. Let's take a break. I
Yeah,
can't.
exactly. Let's take 5 and we'll be right back with stories.
Oh. And we're back. Hello.
And I get to go first because
That's
I got the
right.
crazy in love this
Yes.
week. Okay,
crazy
so-
in love.
We got this email titled Lonely, Desperate, and Shy.
Oh. Right to my heart.
I know. She says, "Hi, ladies. I recently saw a comment on Reddit about one of the stories you read on episode 41 where you mentioned the podcast. I can't stop listening. I love these stories, and you 3 are so entertaining. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I immediately knew I had to submit my own worst date story. How many red flags can you count?"
Oh, it's a game.
Here we go.
So,
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
you
Hold
guys
on.
ready?
Should we drink for
Yes.
everyone?
Let
Yes.
me crack,
Yes.
let me
Drinking
crack
game.
open my new White Claw.
Yes.
Yes.
Some
So we have a-
ASMR for you guys. Okay. Ready.
This happened around 2010 when I was 22. I was a late bloomer, really shy, and had only been on 1 or 2 dates before this. I was messaging with this guy on Match.com.
drink.
I think his name was Mike.
Drink. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Poor
kidding.
Mike's.
I was a little hesitant because he said he was 28, but he definitely looked more like he was in his mid 40s.
Yep, that's a drink.
That's a drink.
Drink.
My roommate told me not to go out with him, but I was desperate. So the
Trust
day
your roommate.
I
I
know.
know, she's trying to
Didn't you
protect
tell
you.
me that one day where you were like, "Don't go meet that guy" or whatever? He looks like a psychopath.
Yeah. I was like, please don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, your friends are there to protect you.
exactly. So the day of the date comes and he asked me if we can go somewhere on the bus route because he didn't have a car.
Drink.
Okay, so this is something I wish I had known because I was living an hour away at college, but it wasn't a deal breaker. I offer to pick him up and he agrees. I get to his house and text him that I'm there. He comes out wearing a 90s bomber jacket and some grungy jeans.
Oh, God.
I was immediately put off by the way he dressed, but I didn't want to back out. This is where he
Okay.
loses Cassie.
Uh-oh.
He
Balloons?
then hands me a single white rose.
One rose that he probably
gross.
got at 7-Eleven.
I'll drink. Nobody else has to.
Yes, which I awkwardly toss into the backseat of my car.
You're like, thanks.
She's like, fuck it. Petals fall off. Maybe she's me.
Well, it's they're brown anyway. You bought one rose. You weren't going to a florist.
Yeah.
And here we're going to lose Keegan.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
We start talking, and I notice he is also missing a bunch of teeth.
Nope. Nope. Drink. No.
Don't get me wrong. I know dental care is horribly expensive, but it was just another thing on top of the clothes and how old he looked.
Oh.
If you're 28 and you lost all your teeth already,
That's
either
meth.
you've got some genetic problem or
That's
it's
meth.
drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
He suggested we go to Olive Garden. Okay, no lie.
The best
I
Olive Garden
legit,
story.
I low-key
I
like
low-key
Olive
love
Garden.
our... Dude,
Just not on a
OG,
date, but
not
like-
on a date where I don't know you yet.
Can I tell you
Right.
a really good Olive Garden story?
Yes.
Okay, so I used to work with this guy. He was a British, and he was like,
Did you say he was a British? He was a British.
No, he was British. he was a British. He was like, he's like very wealthy, very well to do, very fucking snobby, like very extra. Wears like the nicest clothes, drives the nicest cars, owns this company. He went to like this distributor like somewhere in like the Midwest or whatever, and the guy was like, hey, I'd love to take you out to dinner tonight. He's like, there's this really nice brand new Italian restaurant in town. He's like, everybody's talking about it, raving about how good this place is. And they pulled up and it was a fucking Olive Garden. I mean, yeah, and he is trying, obviously trying to like be like, I'm going to take you out to a nice dinner.
Because where they're from.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the thing.
I felt so bad, but it's funny as shit because it happened to this guy.
If
who
you're
is
from-
the worst. The worst human. Literally.
If you're from the Midwest, like Olive Garden is middle class fancy.
Olive
Like,
Garden
it
is special occasion.
Yeah.
You just graduated.
You're
going to
homecoming.
prom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not going to lie. I am under no delusions that Olive Garden is fancy. But their
it is
soup,
good.
salad, and breadsticks, I will go
Okay.
for lunch.
No
I will go on my lunch
shit.
Look,
break.
I will not turn down that salad.
Just
No,
saying.
that
Yeah,
salad
same.
dressing is
Shit.
redonk.
But if it's a first date, you're in grungy jeans and a bomber jacket, and she drove, maybe don't go to the Olive Garden for your first date.
Right. It sounds like you should be going to Applebee's in that grungy coat.
So we get to the restaurant and I go to walk in when he stops me and says he wants to have a cigarette. He did not tell me he smoked, which is actually a deal breaker for me. He then got angry when I refused to stand outside in the cold. It was winter in the Northeast and instead went into the warmth. Then he got angry when I told the hostess my own name instead of letting him put his name
Oh,
down.
motherfucker.
drink and
Yeah,
drink.
Yeah.
double drinks.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. We know I'm a dirty smoker. But we also
I
know
vape.
that I would never fucking make any of you guys stand out in the cold with me.
Yeah.
No, I mean-
no.
And
Yeah.
we live in LA, so not even like if it drops below 60, I won't even make you stand outside with me.
that's-
I'd be like, you stay in the nice warm
yeah, because
house.
you know that we're just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's so chilly. I had to
It's
put on
60.
a cardigan. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's your choice. Like it's your choice. It's nobody else's choice, and that's fine. That should be on you.
But I also am very super respectful of other people who don't smoke. I try to be like very conscious. Like even if I'm out on the sidewalk, of course we never smoke in our house. We don't even smoke on our property at all. We always go out by the
To the sidewalk,
to the
yeah.
sidewalk, to the street to smoke, so that we're so far away that it's not wafting into people's apartments or whatever. And even if somebody walks down the street, we were like very mindful of like kind of holding our cigarette out of the way, whatever. But
Well, you gotta put this shit in your profile. If it is a deal breaker for you
Yeah.
or whatever, you know what I mean? That's what we've always said. Like I've been like, holy crap on a photo, like a bio, been like, oh my God, so hot. And the guy's like, deathly allergic to cats.
oh well, there you go.
You're like,
You
we're
know,
done.
We're done.
I will
like, what am I
say
gonna do?
it's been
You know,
so.
forced my cat on you. Like,
Did I
But
tell
really
you
like
guys?
it.
but are you really allergic?
Did I tell you
Try
guys
it
that
out.
like when I first got Matilda, Anthony was like, "Well, that's the end of our relationship," and I was like, "Okay, bye."
Bye.
Like if you're not gonna come back around because of my cat, then goodbye.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split.
Yeah,
ya.
I'm like I made a lifelong commitment to this animal, so
Yeah.
I'm locked in here.
Yeah.
See you in like 20 years, I guess.
Yeah.
But oh shit, what was I gonna say?
But yeah, if it's a deal breaker kind of situation for you, yeah,
and
definitely
that's
put
kind
it on
of
your thing.
the
But-
thing I learned from this ship app because I've not ever been on a dating app before.
Yeah.
So like there have been people for you, Christina, that I'm like it, and then I'm scrolling down and it's like conservative, and I'm like, no,
that don't work.
not gonna work for her. Like
Yeah.
there's other things that work. It's like these things are
I am so glad you guys get to
Well,
smoke
and
from
yeah,
me.
but here's, so both sides of this. I mean, obviously, it is a deal breaker for her,
Right.
But like, truthfully, why was he so pushy about it? Like, why are you making somebody? And why the
Yeah.
fuck do you give a shit that she put her name in?
Right.
Yeah, that's so weird. So we wait around a little while and finally get our table. Throughout the entire date, here's where I get so uncomfortable. Throughout the entire date, he's speaking very loudly and telling me all these stories about getting in fights and beating people up.
Oh no, not hot. Red flag. Drinking at that because if you're getting in fights, no.
All the while he's vulgar and loud, like to the point where everyone in our section is staring at us.
No. At an Olive Garden, they're out for a fancy night.
Yes,
It's fucking up their fancy
when you're
night.
here, your family and. You're ruining family time. I was looking at other customers trying to simultaneously apologize and beg for help with just my eyes.
Oh, we've all been there.
We've all been there where you're like,
Please. I'm not really with him. I don't really know him.
It's Morse code. You're like S. O. S.
They're like, what's wrong with her?
She's blinking a lot.
Did she have a seizure? What's
To
wrong with
top
this
it
table?
off, he was rude to the wait staff and complained about the service
No.
the entire
Red flag.
time.
Red flag.
Hate that.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's on one of your, like, absolute.
That's my
Deal breaker
absolute
list.
deal
Yeah.
breakers for sure. When the food came out, he kept asking why they gave him a spoon with his Alfredo.
Oh.
I kept trying
Because
to
that's
tell
how
him.
they eat spaghetti in the Midwest, you guys. Hi.
I keep telling him to try to twirl it and scoop your pasta, but he just kept asking why they would give him a spoon. I was pretty tense the entire time, and at one point he mimicked my body language and asked why I was so uptight.
That would trigger me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I know. I finally
no
excused
self-awareness.
myself to go to the bathroom when I texted my friend asking for advice. She said she would pretend to call with an emergency, but I couldn't go through with it.
Oh, no.
I would have left him there, but my coat was still at the table. I eventually went back and he paid and left a shitty tip.
Ooh.
And I had no cash on me. I felt horrible.
Oh, no. I hate that.
I was absolutely 100% ready to drop him off and be done, but he coerced me into walking around and looking at stuff I like.
God.
Because I'm like, oh, of course, the
Stuff
Olive
you
Garden
like.
is in
In
the
like a
mall.
plaza.
In the
Yeah.
plaza. Yeah. So I repeatedly turned him down, but he still wound up buying me some random trinkets from Hot Topic.
Oh my. So now he's gonna expect sex. Trinkets.
Finally,
He bought you like a Jack and Sally t-shirt. Like, get the fuck out of here.
A pin for your jacket.
got you
Yeah,
flour.
you're absolutely right. It was not a t-shirt.
No, it
because
was a
t-shirts
pin
are
for
too
a
expensive.
backpack.
Yes.
So it was like a $3 pin.
Yeah.
For your backpack.
Back.
So I finally said I was ready, and I drove him home. As I pull up to his house, he says, "So, do you want to go out again?" I replied, "I'm not sure. I'll let you know."
Oh no.
I finally go home, thrilled to be done with
She
that
seems
experience.
so sweet.
When he texts me, he again asks if I would like to go out again. With the protection of texting, I was able to tell him I wasn't interested. He then proceeded to repeatedly text and call me asking why I wouldn't go out with him.
Block.
This was
block.
before blocking numbers was a
Oh no.
thing. Isn't that the worst?
Oh, it was like back when you had to like call your fucking like
provider
and be like, block this number.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there wasn't much I could do to make him stop. I finally told him all of the above. He told me I was too uptight and worried about what other people
You're
think.
probably right. We're probably not a good match.
Yeah, so
maybe
there you
I
go.
am too uptight for you.
You're right.
That's
We're
done.
That's such a great response.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right.
I am
Great.
too uptight. This probably won't be a good match.
Yeah. Good day, sir.
Good day.
I said good day.
The calls and texts finally stopped the next day. Worst day ever, but it was a learning experience. And if any of that shit happened today, I would leave his ass at the restaurant and never look back.
Damn right, girl.
Even if it meant losing my coat. And it's from Victoria. She says, "Feel free to use my name. This guy should be shamed and blamed."
Yes.
Yes. She's like, I will chew my arm off to get out of that next situation.
Honey. Oh,
Good
my
for
God.
you.
Yes.
Live and learn.
Exactly.
Live and learn.
Exactly.
Do better. Know better. Do better.
Yeah. Now I want Olive Garden.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
hell yeah. I definitely want. Sorry, that wasn't a look like this
I know,
is
I was
going to
like,
be amazing. No. No, I was thinking about something else, and then you got me thinking about chicken Alfredo, and then I was like, yes.
I will be honest, because I didn't grow up in a like household where we use spoons for pasta.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was like kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
And so when I went to Italy, I was like, but then I'd kind of learn that's kind of like a very like thing to do.
Yeah.
But then when I went to Italy, no one
They don't do it
They
there.
don't do
not
it there.
that
Yeah.
there.
Well, we didn't do it in our house either. It was
No.
only a thing that we did if we
It's
went to like the
Olive
fucking Olive Garden.
Got it. Well, because they throw that spoon in
because
there.
they give it to you.
Yeah, what else you
and
can do
I
with it?
get it. Like I
Sure.
get it. Like after I got the hang of it, I'm like, okay, it does keep the pasta on the fork better.
But then it makes like the largest pile of pasta in the planet.
Yeah, but then you don't have to do the slurping. Pros and cons.
Yeah,
There's
well,
like-
no, I bite off. So I like put it in, bite off the extra.
Yeah,
like
no, that's
like a
that's
knife.
generally what I do
Yeah.
too. But it
Yeah.
can get messy. So I mean, I've got a big chin, so
Oh,
things
same.
things
Same.
tend to linger.
I've been meaning to talk to you about this, Jesus.
No, my brother said that to me
See,
one time.
this is what happens. One person one time tells you, "Oh, your ears are big," and so then you cover your ears for the rest of your life. One person tells you you have this one
no,
thing.
I mean he's not wrong. It's true. I have a heart-shaped face and I have a chin, and so my mom,
you have a
my
chin?
mom has it
That's
too.
weird.
I'm like, and it's fine. But he said very nonchalantly one time. He was just like, "Yeah, Keegan has a chin that like juts out like yours, Mom."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
But you know what you don't have? 3 chins. So you're welcome.
I do only have the one, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You got this. You have a nice jawline. I have like this weak jawline
Everyone
that
has
goes
their
into my
shit.
neck.
Everyone
No,
has
I
their
know,
shit
right?
that they think is a problem, and
Right.
no one else sees it.
Yeah,
Again, don't
we
look
gotta
too
stop
close in the
doing this.
mirror.
We gotta
know.
stop
Don't look too
doing
close.
this. All right.
I'm sorry. My head's still on Olive Garden.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
Oh
We got
man.
Chipotle coming.
You know what they had at Olive Garden that I'm like, I don't even know if this is food, but it's fucking good.
They
They had
Dasher
like
is waiting at Chipotle. He's like, "Yo, hurry up with this order."
Yeah. Right.
they have these like little fried mini lasagnas.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god, those
A
are so
thousand
fucking good. I don't know
times
where
yes.
they came
So
up with
here's
that.
the problem with me in Olive Garden as a whole.
Well,
I can't do
you're
dairy.
lactose.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the last time I went and tried to eat pasta that was not like cream based, it's kind of garbage. They really are best when it's just a cream based pasta.
I don't
yeah.
know the
Yeah.
last time I had something at Olive Garden that wasn't cream based.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that's so I just stick with the salad and breadsticks because I could just
Their
fucking
soup
eat
is
that
good.
for life.
They're like
Yeah, the
gnocchi.
zuppa toscana, the one with the like sausage and potatoes in it.
Yes. Oh my god,
Yeah.
our
All
listeners
right.
are like, okay, great,
clearly
great
haven't
with
eaten yet.
fucking Olive Garden, fantastic.
we just Olive Garden shamed, and now we're like, oh.
No, I mean because both things they both exist.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can,
It's
you
like
can be
fire.
like, it is not fancy at all, and don't take your first date there, and also be like, but low key,
but take your first date there. 'cause
But
it's gonna
low
be so
key,
good.
if you've been dating somebody for a while, like
Go to
if
fucking
Anthony
Olive
took me to Olive Garden, I'd be like, fucking word.
Amen.
Let's do this.
Amen. Let's do this.
No red flags
Outback,
there.
same thing.
Oh yeah, get a bloomin' onion. Do
Oh,
it.
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay. Alrighty, so we have this message that we got on Facebook, which, by the way, guys, reminder, you can send us stories on Facebook.
So many ways.
So many ways, all the avenues. All right, this is a worst relationship, not date.
Oh shit.
On New Year's Eve 2010, I was at the club with some friends for a 2011 New Year. I was having drinks, dancing, having a good time, and I ended up meeting a guy named Ronald. We hit it off and saw the New Year in together with a kiss at midnight. He was a really sweet, nice guy, very sweet, super attentive, and we decided to start a relationship. We were getting really close, and he started spending nights at my house, like 4 to 5 times a week. But I was never invited to stay at his place. Red flag. That was me.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
me saying
Yeah.
it's a red flag. Regardless, we see each other all the time, and he shows up to family events. So he's coming
Yeah,
to
so
your
he's in
family
it.
events. He's like
He's
in
in it.
He's deep in the shit.
Yikes.
We go on dates, the whole thing. So at about 9 months together, he starts acting funny, showing up more and more, spending all week at my house, except for when he's at work. Then all of a sudden, I get a message on Facebook from some lady who came with receipts and says that this guy and says that she was this guy Roland's wife
Oh no.
with pictures of his 3 kids.
Oh no.
She pretty much told me that he has been cheating on her for the last year, and I had no idea. When she confronted Roland, he said that it was his ex-wife and she was crazy.
Of course.
Oh,
Crazy
God.
women.
You always want to stay away from somebody that like blames
Absolutely.
everything on their
Everyone
ex.
else.
And that's how I felt when I was watching the last season of The Bachelorette. That's how I felt about the guy that she ended up with. Is the entire time he had been married before, and the entire time it was all about like what she did wrong through their whole marriage.
No.
And then whenever she met his family, same thing. They're like, we're just really protective of him because of this other woman. And I'm like, accept some of the responsibility.
Exactly.
Because they had a very short marriage.
I don't like that.
And I'm like, accept some of the responsibility that you went into this marriage.
I don't like that.
Takes two to tango, man. You gotta know. Like,
Fucking hated that guy.
yeah, no.
Okay. So I did some digging and found a marriage license, no divorce papers, and ended up talking with the wife and found out Roland had been living a double life. Needless to say, I left him that week. But just goes to show you, never really know someone until their wife comes out of nowhere to tell you the truth. Love you, ladies. Keep up the amazing work.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Can you imagine
Damn.
like fucking 9 months in thinking like, okay, things are progressing.
He's met your family.
met
He's
your
going to family
family.
events. He fucking came to Thanksgiving or whatever.
So not only that, then I think ahead where I'm like, because I've had so many of those awkward conversations in the past year with like random family members, like that was the thing that I didn't look forward to the most with the whole divorce is like, now I gotta tell my mom and dad.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm like, so she's got to go and be like, yeah, by the way, this is what happened.
Yeah, when people are
He's
like,
married.
where did Roland go? And you have to be like, well, here's turns out he was married. And then there's this, it's not her fault at all, but you've got to feel this amount of like, oh my God, like I was, smack dab in the middle of this marriage and you had no idea.
You're hoodwinked.
It's awful. Like,
absolutely
don't do that to
hoodwinked.
somebody.
And if she's anything like me, the thing that I can't stand like more than anything is like people's like pity.
Oh, no. I know.
My least favorite thing too. Oh
where
my
I'm
God.
just like,
I hate
like,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the worst. So, poor baby.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if I want to read you the title of this.
Oh, don't. If there's a question, I like a surprise.
Okay. This is from a Reddit thread.
Nice.
And she was excited about me sharing this. So,
Yes.
okay. So it starts out at the time of this story, I was about 19 years old and currently I'm 21 living in a student apartment. I matched with this guy, Jackson, on Tinder.
I'm immediately reticent about this whole thing.
Well, I mean, 19, 20, 21. I don't
I'll
know
date
that
a 19-year-old named Jackson.
I'm pretty
when
sure
I'm 19.
that like 90% of the people you run into are going to be named Jackson at this
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
Because there was a lot of Jacksons.
and depending on like what part of the country you're in, and also
a lot of Jacksons
Jackson
at this
is
point.
back up in. I heard this on the Days
Oh, I
I
love
guess or
that name,
somewhere.
though.
I love it too, but
Yeah.
it's like back up in the top like 5 names because of A Star Is Born.
Oh,
Jackson, Maine.
Of course.
Bradley Cooper.
Anyway, we started talking and he was very funny and charming. After a few days of messaging each other, I invited him over for lunch as I had work later and wasn't planning on sleeping with him right away. Seems wise.
Yeah.
He accepted and I sent him my address. Now, the building I lived in, you needed a key to get inside. And if you didn't have one, you had to call someone who lived there so they could come open the door for you. He messaged me and I went down and got him. We went back up to my place and I just pulled lunch off the stove when Jackson said, "Hey, look at this." I turned around and he was holding a butterfly knife.
No.
Shut
No.
Ah!
Ew.
What?
A butterfly knife.
Oh my God.
Oh, my
First of
alarms
all,
are
like,
going off.
do not bring somebody to meet you
At
in
your
your
house.
place.
Well, she's 19. I did that shit
Oh my
all
God.
the time.
Yeah, the
Oh
dumb
my
shit we did at that
God.
Yeah.
age, right?
Oh my God, that's how
So-
you get murdered.
Jackson started to flip the knife in between his fingers.
Oh,
and
get out of my house.
walked
Get out of my house.
closer to me when his foot caught the table and he fell. While trying to catch himself, he plunged the knife into my left shoulder.
Oh!
And I started bleeding.
Oh my God.
He took one look at the blood and passed out.
This motherfucker right here. You're gonna stab me and then you're gonna pass out? Someone get the insults. I'm furious about this. That's fucked
my
up. If you
God.
stab me,
I know.
you
And
keep
you
your
put-
shit together.
Get your shit together. I must have went into auto drive because the next thing I know, I had grabbed a towel from the bathroom and was driving to the hospital while trying to stop the bleeding. Once there, I parked and went in and found a nurse and asked her to show me where the ER was. She freaked out when she saw the blood and sat me in a wheelchair, pushing me towards the ER.
She drove herself to the hospital?
Long story short, I got 5 stitches and now have a gnarly scar with a
Fucking
weird
Jackson.
backstory.
Oh
Fucking
my
Jackson.
God.
Oh my God.
Fuck
Is that
you.
the fucking
That is
funniest
so-
story?
I'm so mad about it.
Oh my God.
I'm so mad about it.
That's such a 19-year-old boy thing to do. Look at my knife.
Look
They
at my
don't
knife.
even like think about how
He's like,
fucking
"Whoa."
crazy scary that would be for like a girl
You're
alone
in
in
my
an apartment
house.
with a stranger to see a man with a
No,
knife.
19-year-old boys are just like, knives are cool. Like
Like cool
what
butterfly knife.
the boyfriend I had when I was 19 had a machete in his room. So
Oh my
you
God,
know,
of course he
of
did.
course he did.
The boyfriend I had when I was 18 had a samurai sword.
Yeah, they're like, swords are wall art, and you're like, they're not.
They're not.
They're really not.
That
not.
doesn't look cool.
No.
Get yourself a Fight Club poster like everybody else. Go away.
Oh my God. Well, I know I'm making a note about that. So get yourself a Fight Club poster. Fucking
Oh.
brilliant. Okay. Are you guys ready for my crazy in love?
So
Crazy
ready.
enough.
Okay. So you know me and I like to read Dateline transcripts.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
it's
you need
so
to send
funny.
us that.
Yes. Somebody asked me about that. I think it was Anthony. It
Oh,
was like,
was it
what's
because-
this address or like, what's this wild page? that
I
she found?
found a website that does like random TV transcripts, but I think
Yeah.
someone just does it. So it's like there's like one from this show, one from that show. So you might
Oh.
just get lucky to find the one you want.
No, it's just like if you Google Dateline transcripts, like you'll find it. It's like the top link.
All right,
And it's
I'm
like,
gonna do it
amazing.
that
Like,
shit is
all
helpful.
yeah,
Yes.
it's way helpful. So my crazy in love this week is on Sharee Miller.
Oh.
All right.
I'm gonna say her name Sharee. It might be Sherry, but it's spelled Sharee. I'm gonna say that's Sharee.
It's a
Okay.
very creative way to
It's
spell Sherry
creative,
if it's
yeah.
Sherry.
Yeah.
I think it's Sheree.
So this happens in Michigan. Okay. Convicted Sharee Miller. That's spoiler alert, but we will
Ooh.
go back to, I mean, this is a deep dive. Thought that she could get away with murder. And she almost did.
Dun dun dun.
She was born in Michigan on October 13th, 1971, and she was attracted to and excited by the seedier side of life. She was on her own at age 16, and just 3 years later, she was married and already had one kid.
Oh shit.
Honey.
She went for it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just put pedal to the metal right there.
Jump right in. Here we go.
That marriage ended quickly, and for the next 9 years, Sharee bounced around from man to man, and she would reportedly do anything and everything in the bedroom and had a way of making her newest conquest feel like he was the most important person in her life.
Very good at sex.
Very good at sex and controlling men with sex, which
God,
comes into play later.
How do you develop that power? Like, are some people just born with that? Like, kind
Maybe
of.
it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I have that power.
Oh, you're like, you don't know this about me, but
But I have that power. But it's one that I'm uncomfortable with. With great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
And so I'm like Spider-Man with this shit. Anyways, so she went on to have 2 more children fathered by 2 different men. So by 1997, the 26-year-old already had 3 children, all with different fathers, was looking for someone to take care of her. Enter Bruce Miller. So she meets him because she ends up applying for this job at a salvage yard, which he like owns. And she's like 26 and he's like 46. And he owns this salvage yard. He's like a good, decent, hardworking dude.
And if you're looking for someone to take care of you, 46, he's not going to be put off by having a couple kids usually.
No.
You
Right.
know, like.
So she was she spent a lot of time like basically like working a few shifts there, and it did not take long for him to become like smitten kitten. He's all about it. they get married like shortly after
Jesus.
meeting. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
She does not waste time.
She doesn't.
We've
fuck
learned this.
around.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta catch up to Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh my God. So wait, how many times has she been married? Just the twice? Or
This will be her third
okay.
marriage. Yeah.
Time's a wasting.
So it was
No,
it was
TikTok.
1999. She had her hooks in him. They get married. But shortly afterwards, like a couple of months into it, Sharee meets Jerry Cassidy. He's a former like Missouri cop who at one time had aspirations of becoming an FBI agent. This story is so sad, by the way. If you want to send love to anyone, Jerry Cassidy.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
All
but
right.
just go through
Because
this.
I had it in my head already that I was like, this motherfucker, he helped. Okay.
Well, it's a complicated story,
Oh,
but
no.
this is bumming
Okay.
out. Okay, his plans were derailed after he exposed alleged wrongdoing within the department. In retaliation for his complaints, he was shunned, demoted, and eventually left the force. His marriage crumbled. He drank too much, dabbled in drugs, and was looking for a fresh start. He ended up in Reno, Nevada, employed as a pit boss at Harrah's Casino and Hotel. Are you already bummed the fuck out? I'm bummed
It's
out.
a swift decline.
Yes. I can just like see this guy like so clearly and I just want to like give him a hug. It just feels bad. Ugh. Although somewhat lonely and troubled, most thought of him as a nice guy. So they basically like hook up on one of these like online chat sites. Now this is like 99. So I'm like, was this dial fucking up? Like how they find each other?
We were on AOL at the same time, me and Sharee.
So they find each other and they start communicating online. And it's not long before those instant messages devolve into like, and I read through their instant messages.
Oh shit! That
So-
shit is the dirtiest shit you've ever seen. Like when we talk about
And it
when we
lives
talked about
forever.
Tall Hot Blonde, and I was
Yeah.
like
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at those. There is something even more lurid about like old school AOL instant message dirty
Right.
talk than even sexting. Like it is the most gross. Like
Well, because that's the thing
chat
is like
rooms. Ugh.
their stuff actually doesn't. I mean, there is some like lurid stuff in there, but mostly it's like just like fucking gross romantic shit. So it's just like
you
like
I'm not
his
even, like,
his
Cassie,
name, his screen name was Sharee's Fool.
Oh,
And hers
no.
was Jerry's Fool.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm not even as like anti-romance as Cassie is at all. Like we're not on the same level of like anti-romance, but that shit grosses. There is something
It's
about
kind of the level of like sharing a Facebook now.
yeah. Well, I don't.
The
It's just not for me.
worst.
Not for me.
Yeah, not
Maybe
for
for
me.
you.
If it works for you guys, great.
It creeps me
Not
out.
trying to be like Facebook shamey.
My mom and dad share a Facebook, but it's only because my dad can't be bothered. But I told
Yeah.
you he always signs the posts.
I love it. See, I like old people that do that. I don't like people who are like, we're insecure, so I think you're gonna cheat, so we have to
Or
have the
they
Facebook
have
together.
they had separate accounts and they got married, and then it was just like so and so and so and so.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't like it.
So, anyways, like they continue to communicate online, but they finally find a way to meet in person because Sharee also sold Mary Kay, and there was a Mary Kay convention in Reno, Nevada, and so they finally hook up in person. And she told him she was a rich businesswoman living with a disabled husband, and he believed everything she told him. So
The innocent days of the early internet when we just
I
believed
know.
people.
Must
I
be,
know.
must be true. Why would you lie?
We're so skeptical of everything now, as we fucking should be.
Absolutely,
Like, that's where we are now.
I believe
but
nothing.
I talked to so many people on AOL, and I was just like, yeah, like, why would you lie to me? Right.
Oh my
I knew people
God.
who got catfished on AOL.
Oof.
So he like falls like madly in love with her, and she proceeds to tell him, okay, I am a rich businesswoman, but my husband's not really disabled. He actually works for the mafia,
Oh no.
and he's super abusive. And by the way, like, you got me pregnant when we hooked up last time.
My God.
but he raped me and we lost the baby.
Oh
my God.
Which like makes Jerry, of course, like super fucking
lose his shit.
crazy.
Okay, but
because
also, like, this isn't General Hospital, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
no one's lives are like this. If anyone is coming to you and this much shit is going on,
Yeah.
Red flag.
that's a lie. Like,
That's a
it's
lie.
Drink.
You hooked up once. You got pregnant. Her husband is a mafia, like, kingpin.
right.
He raped her. She lost the baby. This is straight out of a soap opera
Yes.
Right.
script. you
Yeah,
know?
it's insane. But
Passions.
he bought it like hook, line, and sinker. So Cassidy didn't know that poor baby angel. Sharee actually couldn't have kids. She had her tubes tied. So like, but it became this thing because she did that to him twice.
Ooh.
They ended up like meeting up again, and she's like, I'm pregnant with twins this time. And she like
Okay.
stuffed her shirt and sent him sonograms and stuff, and he was super fucking invested. And then she fucking draws this yarn that like her husband's friends in the mafia like gang raped her and like beat her beyond recognition, and so she lost twins. So yeah. This guy who had already gone through all of that other stuff before even meeting her finally thinks he found one good thing, one good woman to like love, and he's like, I have to go and like
then-
save her.
Yeah.
Not everyone was meant to be on the internet.
No.
Like, really. Like, his life would have been so much happier if he had just, like, not been
Simple,
on the internet.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So basically, like in on November 8th in 1999, like dude face Bruce Miller, minding his own business as a fucking salvage yard, thinking he's got
shit.
married like a hot 20 years younger wife with her 3 kids, and is like, family man,
He doesn't
happy.
suspect anything at this point. Like, why would he?
Nothing. This is 7 months into their marriage.
What?
BT dubs.
What?
Oh,
BT
my God,
dubs.
she started cheating right away, so it wasn't
Like,
even a thing that, like,
Immediately, if not sooner.
Oh
She
my
was like,
God.
I got shits to do. So
Wow.
yeah. So she's on the phone with him. She's like, what's the happy-dabs? And he's like, oh, just wrapping up at the salvage yard. And she's like, can you pick up dinner on the way home? He's like, yeah, sure. Oh, I gotta go. Someone just came in, and hangs up the phone.
Uh-huh.
So hours go by, dinner's not on the table, nothing's going on. So Sharee calls her brother-in-law and is like, dude face didn't come home. Like, that's really weird. We were on the phone. Makes her brother-in-law go to the salvage yard. And that's
Yep.
when they find Bruce Miller with a shotgun
there is something
wound to his chest.
it infuriates me whenever people make I get why they do it.
Oh, yeah.
But when they make people
Close to them.
close to them be the one who has
Oh,
to
I
like,
know.
find the body is so like ugh.
I think it's because they're so like unemotional, or they don't
They're like,
process
"They'll be
emotion the same way that
wanna
they don't
disconnect
even
themselves
think.
Or
from
they
it.
just don't
They wanna
care.
Yeah.
disconnect themselves from
Well,
it.
but yeah, and they probably don't even think they're doing that much damage because they're not regular people with regular emotions
Right,
who
right.
would be able to process the idea of seeing your brother like that,
Right.
like seeing your sibling like that, you know?
Horrible.
So Sharee's carefree behavior after her husband's death, like, kind of worried the police, but I mean, she was at home. Like, she was at home with her
Right.
kids.
She
Like,
called,
it was
there's-
like,
Yeah.
there's endless proof. So they're like, okay, whatever. And the case kind of goes cold. And then in Reno, Nevada, in February, Jerry's brother goes to check on him because he hasn't been seen
Yeah.
or heard from in a while. And they find him dead in an armchair.
Oh, no.
He had committed suicide.
Oh, no.
And he had left a big old briefcase full of notes for his family and printouts of instant messages.
Oh, no.
Oh shit. All the receipts.
Because here's what happened according to Jerry. His suicide note is extremely detailed in admitting to killing Bruce Miller and very much fingering Sharee's involvement in
Sure.
helping to plan it. Once he had like gone and killed Bruce, pretty much he thought, now we can be together. Sharee started dating someone else a couple weeks after the murder and stopped returning Jerry's calls.
Oh, wow.
So this fucking guy with that fucking life that devolved so much in order to like take another person's life does this, and she's like,
thanks, bye.
Deuces.
How does someone become that? Like,
that's
cold.
insane to me.
How does someone become that cold?
Yeah.
It's I am
You
so
have no
overly
feelings.
empathetic
Yeah.
that I cannot imagine at all ever being able to do that to another person.
The only thing that I can imagine, what I joked about, like, oh, I have that power, like at the top of my story, is because like I joke about like really pulling back if I sense people like me too much too fast, because I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I have power over somebody,
But
or
that-
like
that's
somebody doesn't have their
because-
own like
That's because
agenda.
you have empathy, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason why you feel that way, is because, like, you know, if someone gets really attached to you and you don't
You
feel
don't wanna
that
hurt
way,
them.
you're going to hurt them.
Right.
Like, you don't want to hurt anybody.
Correct.
Like, if you didn't have empathy,
Right. You wouldn't give a shit.
you
Yeah.
just wouldn't care. You'd be like, well, I can do this. It's in my power to be able to do this, and I don't care about what happens to you or your feelings or
I
anything
care
else.
too much.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, ugh, stop liking me. Like me only enough. Not too much, though.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little
It's
bit.
good. It means you're not a psychopath.
Yay. Good. Where we're, you know.
Were you worried?
No.
You're like, oh, thank God.
But yeah, days after his body had been removed, actually, is when they found the briefcase, and he had the 3 suicide notes there. It said, I drove there and killed him. And police like verified it. They like looked it over. They're like, cool, sounds good, and went and picked her up right away and arrested her.
Wow.
So they finally
Maybe don't screw over the person who just committed murder for you.
like literally just did.
Maybe
Like this was
plan this shit
like
out a
2
little better.
weeks later.
Oh, shit.
So you know she
Dumb.
had like Bruce Miller, family man, working at the salvage yard. Ooh, while I'm doing my Mary Kay, I'm on my chat rooms hooking up with dude
Reno.
face that's gonna kill the thing, but I've also got this thing on the side because he
Jeez.
had to have been waiting.
It's just
in the
not
wings.
well thought out, though. It's just like, dude, you can lack empathy, but don't be fucking stupid.
Right.
Like, that's so dumb. If
Right.
you get someone to commit murder for you, you want them to, like,
well, you
keep
have
that shit under wraps.
What do you like? What do people think computers do? That's what I wonder. Where it's like you're typing all
Yeah,
this
where do you
stuff.
think this goes?
Where do you think it
I know
goes?
it's
Because they literally
1999.
have like instant message printouts of them going back and forth of how he's supposed to get off the freeway to the salvage yard and
Wow.
like how like the whole fucking murder
Well,
through
I mean,
AOL.
people were dumb in 1999. Like, that's the year The Matrix came out, and people were like, what? Computer.
But it's just like
gonna
no,
take
like what
over
do
the
you think is gonna happen? And especially what do you think is gonna happen when you like rip someone's fucking heart out? If someone's committing murder for you because they want to be together, you think they're gonna be cool like 2 weeks later when you're like already living with another guy?
So stupid.
Totally cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Now, all that said, I laid out the fucking fact, just the facts, ma'am, for you. And they go to trial, and the jury's fucking deadlocked. It's like 7-5. It's like this whole trial. People don't know. They're like, I don't know. Maybe it's
Why?
like this whole thing. The judge finally is like, you know what? You're not deadlocked. Get back in that room and make a fucking decision, which I didn't know they could do.
Oh, they can. Yeah, they can do
they're
that.
like, decide or not. So I'm like, how is that fucking fair? Because at a certain point, I'm like, I just want to go home and watch,
and Order.
Netflix. Like,
Well, I
When they don't have to do
imagine
that.
I imagine there has to be some limit on it. Like, you
Yeah.
can't go on indefinitely. But I have seen that before
Yeah.
where they're just like, you guys need to try harder.
Yeah.
Go back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that.
so they finally come back and they give her a guilty verdict. Appeals go all the way on up to like the district
All the way to the
court.
top.
All the way to the top. And they're like, yeah, no, you got to overturn that because they admitted his suicide note. And her attorneys were arguing that was a form of hearsay. That wasn't fair.
Oh.
So
But they do have the printouts.
Yeah,
where she said
they won on that. No, it's not the instant messages. It's his actual suicide confession.
This is before the Drew Peterson case, because remember
Correct.
we talked about Drew Peterson, and that's whenever they made it like legal for you to like introduce that evidence, so it wasn't like hearsay evidence.
Right.
I see.
So
okay.
yeah, she was out. She was out for a few years until it finally they were like it got up far enough where they were like no, like still go back to jail though. Like
we don't want you here though, for real.
But she was out for like a while.
Yeah.
But as soon as she got back in jail, she wrote to the district attorney and she confessed her guilt. And this was 16 years after the crime. She actually confessed her guilt. She said, you know what? Like, I deserve to be here. I did plan. I had 16 and a half hours to change my mind and like totally accepted all responsibility.
What made her do that?
Wow.
She said she was driving with her roommate to go back to jail. And she didn't want her daughter and her granddaughter to go with her. And they ended up going anyways, and her daughter just started crying and was like, no, Mom, like, don't leave. And she says that it hit her that those men's family whose lives that she affect, like, she's like, my daughter can visit me. Like, his family can't do anything.
Okay, you're like fucking 10 years too late, lady, though.
Yeah.
Like, listen.
But some people never get there.
Some people never get that.
I'm like, just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Yeah, no, I question that. I question that that's why. I think that someone who's lacking that much empathy, like that's what did it for you. Like you knew that already.
She's also, let's talk age too.
Yeah. 26 though.
Yeah.
I know,
I'm
but
sorry.
Keegan, you're a very mature 20-something. You know what I mean? Like, not that I would plan a murder in my 20s, but like...
I mean, I thought about it. I mean, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. This chick, there's not a lot of stuff out there about what her early life was like, and she's already like married with a kid at 16. I'm like,
listen, I hear all of that,
she
and
might be kind of misguided.
I can take a certain amount of that into account, but okay, her husband, the one who worked at the salvage yard, 46. Did he have a previous family? Did he have kids?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if that guy had kids, you're telling me that she was married to him and she didn't fucking realize that, like, you're married to this person. You know he's got a family. Like, you know he's got like.
Oh, I don't think he had kids because he was like excited to have.
But he's still
3.
got a family.
Yeah,
like,
he
none
got a
of
family.
that should be a surprise to you.
Yeah,
and there's still something just intensely wrong with someone who doesn't have that realization until it hits you personally. Like, there's something really wrong with you. If you
there's
can't,
a lot of people that way.
Yeah,
though.
there's a ton of people.
You can't
and there's
empathize with other people unless it affects your life in a personal way.
It's called narcissism.
That's really fucked up.
I mean, but there's definitely like there's a lot of narcissists then, because I really do think that there's a lot of people out there who can't understand, or they shame or blame or whatever people for whatever their circumstances are. I mean, okay, so for perfect example, you saw that I posted recently, a guy that I know, hairstylist, had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we have such a great career. I love so much what we do. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the greatest things that we do, that we get to touch people's lives every day. One of the downsides of our careers is that it's not a kind of job where you can just like take off work because you have vacation time. You don't have vacation time. And in many circumstances, you don't have very good healthcare, if at all, provided for you. So you're on your own for all of that. You know, it's just the circumstances of our job. But a lot of people are like, well, that's your fault for, you know, doing that job. And they can't empathize with the idea of doing something you love as a job or a career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's your fault. You should do something different. Or you should you know what I mean?
It's the same way people get about like rape victims, where you have to break it down, where you're like, what if this was your sister or your
God, right?
mother
Thank
or
you.
your, and it's like, it shouldn't fucking matter.
Right.
If you shouldn't have to make this something that's like,
Personal.
what if it's relevant to your life? That's a fucking person, regardless of whether it was your sister or your mother or like, that shouldn't matter.
This might be though, something that I got in Catholic school. I don't know if you guys got it, but we had to do religion class, and one of the things that we learned like in grade school is something called like the hierarchy, and it's like a pyramid, and it's like how
It's how you sell things.
it's like a moral and it's a moral hierarchy.
Okay.
Basically, where like most people like won't break the law because of the consequence or
Right.
because it might hurt them, or then the next level is like, well, they won't break the law because like it's just the law, they just do what they're told. And then like the highest level or something is like you recognize, like you're able to see like outside
There
of
are
yourself
other
or whatever, you know. And it's
consequences.
like obviously like the bottom level is like the
I get it.
majority
I
of
get it.
humans.
Base level, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally base level.
So
And I don't want to always come across that I'm like moralizing to people constantly, because I understand how that can be like exhausting. But it is one of those things to me where I'm just like, that just drives me crazy when people are like, my daughter was upset. I'm like, yeah, your daughter's upset about a situation you put her in.
right.
Because you did this awful fucking selfish thing.
But at least she admitted it, because like they said,
Yeah,
that
I agree.
there's
I agree.
tons of
You're
people
right.
who go
You're right.
day in day out
Their whole lives.
that never even like she went and she
were great,
wrote a
could've been,
letter
like, lied,
You're right.
She
like,
could've-
nope, never did it, never did it,
because
never
she
did
was yeah.
I mean, I do think the bar is on the floor, but you are right.
the bar is
Yeah.
definitely
Like,
on the floor.
That's the
but
lowest
there's
we could possibly
so
put
many,
the bar.
how
but
many
yes.
stories?
Her limbo
how
level
many
is the
stories have we
lowest.
heard where people take that shit
You're
to their
right.
fucking
You
grave
are
and
right.
they never
Every
say
story
anything?
that we've done.
Most
honestly.
stories
That
people
kind
don't
of
give
kind
it
of
up.
blew me away, because
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, she's not getting out. And the thing is, her lawyers are like, it ends her appeals process.
Yeah,
Done.
obviously.
And her lawyer's like, you know, what's fucked up is that if she had told the truth from the beginning, her plea deal, if she had pled guilty,
She'd
it's
already been out of jail.
15 years. She would have been out.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, you're right. As far as like, at least the families get some peace knowing that she came out and fucking told the truth.
I mean, it's
Like,
not,
at
it
least there's
doesn't bring
that.
them back, but
No,
like,
there's
how
more
many
peace
families get
knowing
like
what happened? At least
knowing what happened and someone taking responsibility
you're right
for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
true. Sorry, I'm gonna try and be less of a bitch on this podcast.
so
I
funny.
realize, like, sometimes I listen and I'm like,
Hilarious.
I'm the bitchy one. I get that.
I was like, oh, I'm the gray area. That's how I am. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm the one who's always arguing whatever opposite point. That you guys agree
You're
on
like
something.
devil's
I'm
advocate.
I'm the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good news for Sharee. Being in jail did not slow her down.
Oh.
She
got
does.
married again?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
wow.
is married to, or she's engaged to Michael Denoyer. He's from
Mike,
Illinois.
run, Mike.
56-year-old man was sitting at home one day watching
no.
Snapped on the Oxygen Network
No,
when he saw Sharee Miller.
The love of his life.
snapped.
There was
Oh, God.
something
That is
about
not
her
where you're from.
eyes that beckoned him.
No.
He says,
Man.
I saw something in her eyes that broke my heart. He was so besotted with her
I gotta watch this Snapped.
that he wrote her a letter. And she responded to his letter, and he visited her.
Wow.
And on that very first visit, he proposed, and she accepted.
It is a match made in Snapped. Wow. And on that note,
Don't like that.
Yikes.
I don't like that.
So
Nope.
there
guys.
you go.
No. This is what I worry for Gypsy. I'm like, Gypsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want every happiness for you, and you seem to be thriving.
I need
but
you.
I'm
yeah,
like,
I need you to come out of this on top, considering
yeah,
what you've been
please,
through.
God, let this man be a nice man.
I'll devil's advocate Gypsy.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I mean, I see both sides.
I see both
Yeah.
sides, and I'm like, time will tell.
Yeah.
You don't grow up that way with that kind of manipulative mother without like, she's either going to like, you got two paths in front of you.
Yeah.
So let's see which one she walks.
Yeah. I think one of you guys should do that one.
Gypsy?
Gypsy Rose.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
'cause
your
that is a
hometown. That's your
I'll do
hometown,
it.
girl.
Yeah, it's my hometown.
We should save it for when you know what we should
We'll
do
do
that
a live Live.
and when we go to
Okay.
Springfield.
Down.
Yeah.
Although if we do that, we're setting ourselves up for a tall order because every fucking person in that audience
course.
knows that story inside and out.
But if all
Yeah.
three of us dig, I mean, that's a great story. It's
Yeah.
just a great story.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can drive by, look at all the landmarks.
my God, can't we?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did watch the act and I was like, all right, first of all, the Springfield Battlefield Mall does not look like that. That's what it's called, is the Battlefield Mall. And I'm like, it is not that busy, first of all. It's a fucking ghost town.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like looking at all the
You're like, ain't
inaccuracies.
nobody in Claire's.
No.
I just don't feel like I need to watch it, only because I'm like, I've seen the doc, and I feel like that's good enough for
I
me.
do too. I really love Patricia Arquette. I really do, but I don't want to see an extended reenactment of the documentary.
I watched the first episode.
Exactly how I feel.
And it was okay. Like,
Yeah.
it was good. I mean, Patricia Arquette's great. There's Chloe Sevigny, and I'm like, I fucking love you.
I love her.
So I mean, but I watched the first episode like 2.5 weeks ago, and I haven't finished it. So
Yeah.
if that tells you anything, it's not
Yeah.
that I won't finish it. It's just nothing grabbed me that was like, we must keep
Yeah.
watching.
Oh my
right
God.
now.
How
Speaking of
fucking
watching
stoked
shows,
are
though.
we?
Game of Thrones this Sunday.
Dude, I'm so stoked. Except
I
I'll be
wanna
on a
join the
fucking flight all day.
Deadpool. I want to.
I don't understand.
Oh, the
There's
death,
the death.
death pool.
Yeah.
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 Who do you think? Who do you think dies? I hope not Tyrion. That's the only one. I just fucking don't kill Tyrion.
Oh, I think
Tyrion's-
Cersei's for sure dying. I definitely think Cersei's for sure dying. I think Jon Snow dies.
I don't.
Well,
Thank you.
here's the thing. Are we talking like I don't know how they're going to do this thing, because in the beginning they'll kill anybody off because it was more about like shock and like
Shock and awe.
reality.
Yeah.
But that was
Then-
his book. I mean,
then
that's how
when-
the books went.
But
Yeah.
then when more people started getting into Game of Thrones, I feel like Game of Thrones kind of became a little bit more like
Pansy-ish.
I feel like they want to give us a Hollywood ending now. Whereas
Yeah, I
before they would have fucking killed Jon
nervous.
Snow. They would have killed anybody.
I think I think Cersei and Jaime Lannister both die. I think Tyrion
what if
lives.
Jaime kills Cersei?
That's what I think. That's what I. That's what I got money on that. You heard it here first,
All right,
folks.
listeners, let us know what you think for sure.
I think Sansa is gone.
You
Oh, no, I think she's gonna make it.
I
Oh,
think
really?
she
That
makes
bitch
it.
was hardened by fire. She's making it.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna pick out one of the sisters, it's got to be.
What if
Arya.
Arya dies?
Don't you?
She's a faceless man. I don't think she can be killed
she
now.
Can't die.
Is she immortal?
Not immortal,
She
but
is
she's
now.
like a hardened assassin.
You're,
She is
you're
an
not
assassin.
killing that bitch.
That's
Nah.
true. Yeah, no one's sneaky enough.
Nah.
No one. This conversation really took a turn.
Yeah.
it definitely did.
So my birthday was this week, and I got super sick on my birthday, and so I spent the whole evening in my Airbnb watching fucking Queer Eye. Dude,
It's like I
the
told you
best.
guys is like what it's like receiving a hug. It's like watching a fucking hug.
My dumbass was like on my period. I was like day
Dude.
one of my period, couldn't go anywhere, and was like in pain on the couch. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Binge the third season of
the
Queer Eye.
saddest thing ever.
And I was just like, I was just sobbing
Yeah.
on the couch. I was just
So
like,
sweet.
It feels so good. It's
So
so
beautiful.
empowering.
You know what
It's
I
so
like about it?
uplifting.
I was texting Keegan during, and I was like, you know what I really loved about it is that they don't try to change people.
Yeah.
It's the difference, I think, between this group of Queer Eye versus the old Queer Eye, which is that they don't go in and shave your beard off and like completely change you, and you've been dressing like this, we're gonna dress you like this. Like they took that guy who's the camp guy, and he's like, okay, well, you dress for camp gear, let's
and
dress
what
you.
are your priorities?
Yeah, and your priorities are this, and you know, here you don't want to use deodorant, so let's talk about whether or like sweat wicking products or breathable. You know, like they really took their personality, who they were, and didn't try to change that.
Didn't
they tried to
shame
show
them.
Didn't
Didn't
shame
shame them.
Like,
And
oh,
they-
you
at all.
And they
stink
let
or
them
whatever.
do it on their own at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
They take
Yeah.
a step back and they're like, we're going to watch from afar. We gave you all the tools.
Yeah.
And like fly. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's the
best.
sweetest thing. It
My
really
heart.
is.
I love
really
all
love
of
it.
them.
Yeah.
too.
Anyway, we should probably cut that part for bonus material.
Oh, I love it though. We're good on time. We'll plug Queer Eye like a million times. It's like my favorite.
Yeah,
new
guys,
show.
how about you tweet at Queer Eye and tell them that we're their biggest fans?
Yes.
And then maybe we can meet them at some point.
Oh my god, that would be
I
amazing.
just
can
want
do
to
a
get
crossover.
Karamo on the show.
Oh my
We
god,
can,
me too.
Jonathan Van Ness has a podcast.
Oh, that's
I'll get on
right.
your podcast.
Yeah,
JV
let's
and-
just swap. Well, if you guys have stories, anything, want to reach out to us, we got a one-stop shop at myworstdatepodcast.com. We're available across all the feeds, and you can join our Patreon, and you can
Leave us a review, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps our business a lot.
Yeah.
So if it's something that you've been kind of like, I've been enjoying this show, but I know how it gets. I do the same thing where I totally procrastinate and like don't do it. Even if you don't want to leave a review, if you
hit
just
that 5 stars.
hit that 5-star button there,
hit that 5
it helps us out a
We'd
lot.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Also, too, if you guys got stories for us, we would love to hear your stories, even if it's just a short one, because we do a Shorties episode once a month. Possibly, we've been talking again. I don't know, maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
might happen. So
We can only do twice a month if we get your help.
Yeah.
Because we need enough short stories
yeah,
to do twice a month. So send them in.
I mean, flood them in, guys.
Yeah, flood
We'll
them
take
in so that we can feel confident in taking that next step.
Yeah, I can only go on so many dates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing is too is our Patreon page is up and fully loaded, and we're always updating that content pretty regular basis, not an annoying basis, but
And we're getting ready to upload some new merch. So you definitely want to join up now. If you have any t-shirt suggestions, we're thinking about running a Who Raised You shirt.
and have you met my friend Christina?
Yeah, so if you have any more suggestions, please reach out and let us know. But we're super excited. So
Yes.
thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.
Cheers.
This is a Glassbox Media Podcast.